How to add structured data to web pages. In this video session, I'm going to show you how to add structured data to web pages. The way you insert structured data can be different depending on the content management system that you're using. But if you truly want to take advantage of rich snippets, rich results, enhanced rich results, and structured data that Google supports, then you should not add structured data to web pages using plugins. So let's go and see. Your website, which is your domain, is the website. And any web page that you stem from that website can be marked up differently. For example, let's imagine a local dentist website, or an e-commerce site, or a typical blog post. Let's take these three as an example. Let's copy this. This is a local business. That means this website could have utilized the data types that Google supports, or they could actually mark up the website as a medical service. Now, how would you do that? As I've said, the only way to add structured data properly is to edit the code of the website theme. Unless you have a static website, which in today's world is very unlikely. In this example, they're using WordPress. In this example, they're using Shopify. So what you can do, well, Shopify actually codes, Shopify themes or WooCommerce themes code the product section as a product. So that's all, generated dynamically, so you don't really need to add anything to it. But that's actually not correct way to do it, because no plugins can do it properly. Why? As I've said to you, the website itself is, like the domain name of it is the website that you can stem things from. What that means is, if we look at this item type, let's go and visit the URL. Now it says, you know what, that's a creative work, which can be different things, and that's a website. But to then add proper markup, we can say, okay, can a website have different information? As we can see, there is many things a website can have. But what if we look at a web page? What's the difference? There's a huge difference in terms of structured data. And looking at this, then we can see, you know what, about us, checkout page, collection page, contact page, medical web page. That looks reasonable to mark up this particular website, web pages perhaps. Or we can search dentist and look at the schema. Oh, there is something to do with dentist, and there's also dentistry. So therefore, in this scenario, let's imagine dental implants. This should have been marked up perhaps as a dentistry page. So the way to add proper markup is you understand what I've just mentioned, because then if it's a dentist, then it's a dentist. If it's a medical service, then it's a medical service. The website is, or different parts of it. If it's a local business, then it's a local business. But local business, let's imagine this scenario. This is a local business perhaps about us page, contact us page, can utilize, let's imagine web page, and let's look at about page, and let's look at contact page. So that means about us page should be about us page for that local business. Contact us page should be contact page for that local business. Or else, why just have, let's imagine an e-commerce site. Why just have the product section marked up as product and the other parts of the website is not marked up? That doesn't make sense. So I'll show you Shopify example. You can modify the theme. Let's imagine you want to add code. Then you can explore with theme liquid and see, that's your HTML. So therefore you need to run liquid code to say if page, as an example, contact page, then mark that up as contact page. Make sense? You start with HTML because your HTML document is a structured data. As in, you can structure the HTML as a structured data, because then everything else is tied together. Because then you're not just taking advantage of product, then education, let's imagine question and answers, will be related to that product. Question and answers will be related to local business, if you have a local business website, for example. Also, I'll show you a different example. Let's look at get started with local business. Here we have JSON LD. So what you could do is grab that, and let's imagine, okay, I won't show you Shopify because that's related to e-commerce. I'll just show you a typical WordPress site. Let's header. We don't really want to add scripts to header. Let's add it to footer. Okay, I'm looking at my client site here. Let's grab the footer section of a typical WordPress site. That's rank yes. Let's place it before closing of body tag. Now at this moment, all you need to do, looking at the examples Google Structured Data Help section provides, you can simply change the details to be local business, add images related to local business, name, address details, any reviews, or if you do not have reviews, you can remove it. Let's imagine you have reviews, testimonials page. If that's the case, you can say is page, this for WordPress. Let's say if his page is reviews, then only then bring out the review, because you want to have a valid markup. Author of the review so then that's PHP. If his page, let's close the PHP. So then, okay, I made a mistake. I should have closed it there. Let's PHP and if. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? If his page reviews, that's the one. Okay, let's move that. If his page, do that. Why did that? Okay, that closes that. That closes that. That closes that. That. Well, then that is correct. if his page reviews do, that's valid, because I'm editing the code differently. It's a script. Yeah. Okay, now this is a WordPress example, but as I've said at the beginning, how you add structured data to a website will depend on the content management system that you're using. I'm just showing you what's possible and the examples. Now, looking at this example that we've taken from Google Help section, you should 100% go to schema.org and look at the local business information. Here you can see different types of local businesses. As we can see, we've got exercise gym. So then what one can do, okay, I'll show you this example. Okay, where are we? These are previous backups. Okay, I'll show let's look at the source code here. Let's say local business. You can actually add additional type. In this scenario, well, my valued client is a computer repair technician. So therefore, we can actually do something like this if we want, as in extend the structured data. That's why you want to triple check schema.org markup, or else don't use structured data on your website, because it'll be like a car without doors if you don't follow these insights. Also, there is different product ontologies you can explore and add. Furthermore, GS1 web vocabulary can be explored, because all these you can like really extend. Do you really need to? No. For a local business, what's important? The web page, about us page, contact page, because all those contact details, the business names, address of it, will be displayed in search results. For e-commerce, rich results. For products, it can be utilized. But when you mark up structured data, then you want to make sure, you know, frequently asked questions page should be marked up as frequently asked questions page. What I'm saying is, most plugins, they just end up marking up the section itself. But if the web page itself is about frequently asked questions, then you start with the HTML markup here. By looking at web page examples, we've got frequently asked questions page, so HTML could have been that instead of just one section of it. So you could do that. Does that mean you have to have it in HTML? Not necessarily, but it's wiser to mark up the website from the HTML element. I'll show you why that is. Let's look at a blog post, for example. Well, that's a blog post. Then the HTML is a blog, right? And anything within HTML is all related to that blog. Whether it's the blog section, it's in blog posting, images, or any other information really. We can use Open Graph Protocol, which Facebook uses, so we can extend. If Facebook marketing is important, then perhaps you want to check this out as well, as an Open Graph Protocol. because Facebook is expanding its business model, right? So structured data, the only way to add it is look at what's supported. Obviously that's important. Make sure the markup is valid. You can begin from the HTML tag itself, but you have to explore schema markup, as in schema.org website, because now your e-commerce checkout page could have been marked up as a checkout page from the HTML level, because that's more logical. That's why you don't want to use plugins. Popular WordPress plugins like Yoast, they're trying to chew a mountain by thinking that they can add structured data using some sort of an SEO plugin. Or money-hungry app developers trying to sell you some JSON-LD schema plugins or apps, thinking that it's going to help SEO. If you do things incorrectly without following the guidelines, or if your markup semantics are incorrect, then that's more harmful than beneficial. I know I went back and forth, but to learn structured data, it can be complex. Usually this job should be left to web developers. Furthermore, Google Help section may suggest to use Google Tag to add structured data. Once again, that's not smart. This is how you add it. There is no other way. Or else it'll be like swimming on dry land. And that's the last thing your website or your client's website deserves. You deserve better. Check out the Rank Your website, because I'm going to add more examples. And I'll talk with you in the next video session.